The latest on that stunning offensive by Ukrainian forces, changing the face of the war, retaking large amounts of territory as Russian troops retreat on a key front. Tom Soufi-Burridge is on the scene in Ukraine. Good morning, Tom.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. What a turnaround this is. Ukrainian forces are now building on that initial lightning advance, contesting areas in the east, which the Russians only captured weeks ago, and claiming an advance in the south. The Ukrainian offensive still appears to have momentum on multiple fronts. This morning, Ukraine's breathtaking offensive securing new gains as its forces continue to advance in the east and now also in the south. These troops filming and posting a dramatic attack, claiming an ambush on a Russian vehicle. One Ukrainian official saying Russian forces surrendering en masse, abandoning entire stocks of ammunition claimed by Ukrainian troops. And this morning, UK intelligence saying the lightning advance by Ukrainian forces out east, devastating one of the Russian army's most prestigious battle groups. Here, a Ukrainian mayor slicing up the Russian flag. Ukraine claiming to have liberated more than 20 towns in just 24 hours. The devastation clear as soldiers tore a newly liberated and strategically important city in another video circulating online. Here you can see in yellow the ground the Ukrainian forces claim to have retaken from the Russians, more than 2,300 square miles. This Ukrainian MP briefed on the offensive, telling us there's more to come. Are we going to see more victories by Ukraine in the coming days?
Definitely.
Is Russia on the run?
Yes, that is called retreat under international terms.
Destruction from explosion caught in this new video shared by local Ukrainian officials in the eastern Donbass region, where Ukraine is now also claiming victories. Even the Kremlin acknowledging its retreat and striking back. A Russian missile hitting the heart of Kharkiv, killing at least one person. Russia also targeting power stations in the city. President Zelensky calling Russia's retaliation desperate, saying they can't do anything to our heroes on the battlefield, so Russia is directing its vile strikes against civilian infrastructure. With Russia's invasion of Ukraine again in disarray, there are unusual levels of dissent creeping into Russian state-controlled media. There's also been a very rare public rebuke against Vladimir Putin, 18 local officials calling on him to resign. All eyes now on Putin's position and how he might respond. George?
Okay, Tom, thanks. Let's bring in White House spokesman John Kirby for more on this. John, thanks for joining us again this morning. Is Ukraine winning this war?
They certainly have some momentum, particularly up there in the northeast part of the country, in that Donbass region. You saw just from that report how swift and how stunning their advances have been. There is more fighting to go, though, and particularly down in the south, where the Ukrainians are also trying to break through near Kherson City. They've made some incremental progress. They're facing a stiffer Russian resistance down south. But clearly, up in that northeast region, there's some momentum here by the Ukrainians, and no doubt about it.
Is there a risk that they take this too far, run ahead of their supply lines?
I think, they've planned this counteroffensive pretty carefully, George. They've thought this through. I mean, we're all watching these swift and stunning images today, but we need to remember there were weeks and weeks of planning that went behind that. And the Ukrainians have done a good job thus far in this war managing their logistics and sustainment, their supplies to their troops. I think they're mindful of that going forward.
How about these new threats to Vladimir Putin inside Russia? How serious are they? How do you expect Putin to respond?
It is very interesting to see, isn't it, now that he's facing some public rebukes, not just from opposition figures, but from actual elected officials inside Russia. That's not insignificant. Now, we'll see where this goes. We're already starting to see signs that they're going to probably start to crack down on some of these dissident elected officials. We'll watch this carefully. But it is noteworthy that now even elected municipal officials are coming out speaking against Mr. Putin.
President Biden and the U.S. have always believed there's going to have to be a diplomatic end to this war. Is the table laid for a more favorable diplomatic settlement right now?
George, I don't know that we know we're there yet. And actually, it's really going to be up to President Zelensky as commander-in-chief to determine if and when he's ready to sit down and negotiate. clearly, we don't appear to be at that point right now. I mean, there's still a lot of fighting going on, not just in the north, but elsewhere in the country. And Mr. Putin has shown no inclination to stop the prosecution of this war against the Ukrainian people, as we saw with his retaliatory strikes in Kharkiv just over the weekend. So I don't think we're there yet. Obviously, President Biden fully supports a diplomatic end to this war, an end that we'd like to see today, if possible. But I just don't know that we're on the horizon right now.
Finally, another war broke out on Russia's periphery overnight. Azerbaijan attacking Armenia. How serious a threat is this for Vladimir Putin? Is there any role the United States can play in calming the tensions?
Well, we certainly want the tensions calmed. You saw Secretary Blinken, the Secretary of State, put out a statement yesterday calling for an end to these hostilities. As you know, George, this conflict goes back decades to the fall of the Soviet Union. The Russians apparently brokered a ceasefire overnight, and then it was almost immediately broken, at least what the initial reports are saying. So we urge both sides to stop the hostilities, to stop the violence. We don't need to see any more conflict in that particular part of the world.
John Kirby, thanks very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.